what is the future of work? What is your future job? What is my future job? Will next year's lecture be by ChatGPT or some other bot providing you with an analysis of the ages of globalization? This is a question that everybody is asking around the world. And is this a future that we want, or is it a future that we should resist and abhor? The answer is complex because there are distinctive paths. There are distinctive paths where the replacement of jobs by machines gives us a brighter and more prosperous future, a kind of future we want. One could even say a utopian future, or where the replacement of humans by machines gives us something terrible, the opposite of the future we want, something dystopian. So the question for us in this chapter is whether the rapid technological progress of the digital age is putting us on a utopian or on a dystopian path. And the answer is not so simple. Now, one answer that's often given when the question of automation comes up and the claim that machines are replacing humans at work is the claim that, well, just as old jobs go away as machines take those jobs, new jobs are inevitably created. So as the automobile age replaced the age of the horse for transport, yes, it's true that liverymen and coachmen lost their jobs, but new jobs were created on the assembly line. And if the assembly line jobs go away because of artificial intelligence, the new jobs will be the computer coders and those who design the new AI systems. So an answer that's often given is you don't really lose jobs net. Some jobs are reduced or eliminated, other new kinds of employment rise. And the trick is to gain the skills needed for the new jobs and to make a smooth transition and help those whose jobs are being eliminated. It's not quite so simple, however, and in a way, actually a little bit better story than that one if one thinks about it, because it's not quite true that the jobs lost to machinery are simply replaced by new jobs at the same scale, but in other sectors, for example, in professional activities or in the service economy. One of the most important facts, one of the real gains of human well-being over the last 225 years, say, since the sixth age of globalization began, is that as machines replaced human labor, one of the benefits has been actually less work on average by all of us, less drudgery, less physical labor, surely, and more leisure time. And this is one of the possibilities, the utopian path, I would say, for our digital age. If we look at the long history of working hours that engaged people in the 19th and 20th centuries, a good piece of news is that the long drudgery and hard work of the agricultural age really led to a lot more leisure time and a lot less backbreaking physical activity because of the advent of smarter and smarter machines. Think of it, in the early 19th century in Europe or the United States, typically individuals would work on the farm, maybe 10 hours or 12 hours a day, and 6 or even 7 days a week. There were always chores to be performed. There was always the urgency of collecting the crops in the field, or weeding, or watering the crops, or other farm activities that seemed endless. Life was hard, it was backbreaking, it required a tremendous physical effort each day. And that meant 10 hours a day, 6 or 7 days a week. Now think of a typical work week in the high-income world, in the so-called advanced economies, those that had the most benefit of technological advance and of machines replacing human labor. Typically, the work week is 5 days a week, and in some places 4 or 4.5 days a week. Weekends are off. There's a lot more vacation time, if you're lucky to be in many kinds of jobs that have come with the advanced economies. The average number of hours worked in a year has declined sharply, as this graph shows us, and that's true across many, many economies. Whereas individuals work 2,000 or more hours per year, now in many of the highest income countries, work is perhaps 1,300 or 1,400 hours per year, a saving of 400, 500, 600 hours per year of work. Now think about that. If the work week today is a 40-hour work week, saving 400 hours per year is as if it's 10 weeks of work that is now reduced through shorter work hours, more weekend time, more vacation time, more summer leisure time, and so on. There's no doubt that as machines have replaced people, it's not simply the case that new jobs have arisen in the same quantity per person as the old jobs that were eliminated. What has also increased markedly is the non-work time of our lives. Part of that is school time, because the amount of time that we spend in education has arisen because those machines have tended to be complementary with more skilled work, meaning that more sophisticated machines give rise to more sophisticated kinds of jobs. In other words, jobs that require more years of education. But it's also the case that it's not just more years of schooling, it's many more years of retirement, a concept that barely existed in the 19th century for most people, but is now quite common for older individuals in the high-income societies at the least. And it is shorter work hours, more vacation time, and more leisure time, as I have emphasized. So the utopian pathway is one in which the machines free us from drudgery. The machines give us more of what we want and need, more foodstuffs, more manufactured goods, more services, with less strenuous work effort, less backbreaking work, less drudgery, so that the utopian idea is more for less, more output of goods and services of what we want, with less inputs of drudgery, physical labor, boring, hard work that we don't want. And that indeed is a feasible trajectory in a world of rapid technological advance. The utopian path, however, is not the only possible trajectory. the common sense idea that those who lose their jobs to smarter machines also lose their incomes and their livelihoods and their means of support is also a real possibility. If machines replace people, then the output and the income of the economy depends on who owns the machines. And in the digital age, we mean not only the physical machines, but also the software, the artificial intelligence, the smart systems that run those machines. And so it's absolutely possible that that trajectory of rising output per worker because of smarter and smarter machines leads not to the liberation of society from drudgery, but rather to the mass impoverishment of most of society as a few people in society own the means of this advanced production. And one of the points that we see in our world today, and it's a trend that has been underway for decades, and it is related to machines replacing human labor, is growing inequality in society. Because many of the people who lose their jobs cannot find replacement income at the same levels of well-being that they achieved before their job was automated by a smart robot or by an artificial intelligence system. And those who gain the better jobs are the lucky ones, or the ones that own an initial amount of capital and therefore can own the new machines, or who have invested in a lucky way in the technological breakthroughs, or who have the skills perhaps and the aptitude to be the advanced computer programmers and the systems designers of the new digital age. It just is a matter of looking at the unimaginable wealth of those at the top and the nature of their wealth to understand that this dystopian track is also feasible. Who are the richest people in the world today and how much wealth do they have? Well, they have more wealth than they and everyone they know could possibly use in many, many lifetimes, with Elon Musk with a wealth of $200 billion or more, and all of the top wealth holders, with very few exceptions, coming from the new tech sector, the sector of the smart machines, the artificial intelligence, the systems that are replacing the jobs that are now lost and leaving millions and millions with lower incomes, in fact, than they had before. So Elon Musk and Jeff Bezos of Amazon and Bill Gates of Microsoft and Mark Zuckerberg of Meta or Facebook and Larry Page and Sergey Brin of Alphabet or Google and so on, the richest people in the world, have fortunes absolutely unimaginable just a couple of decades ago in their scale, but coming from the ownership of the tech software, the advanced systems, and often the tech hardware, the great server centers of our cloud computing that bring us the new highly automated age. The fact of the matter is that there are two trajectories. One trajectory, the utopian trajectory as I've called it, is where we share in the well-being of technological advance. And the other trajectory, which is also a feasible trajectory, is that income and wealth inequality soars as fewer and fewer people gain more and more to an extent unimaginable before these technological breakthroughs. These are social choices, political choices. If things are just left to market forces alone, the dystopian trajectory could well apply. The rich get richer, in fact, unimaginably so, and many people absolutely fall into destitution in our new automated society. But if government supports all of society to ensure decent living standards, access to health care and education, access to training and skills that are needed, pre-distribution so-called to help train people so that their incomes and earnings will be higher, and redistribution to help those who fall behind, then it's absolutely possible to see these technological breakthroughs for their great potential. They could eliminate lots of jobs, but jobs of hard labor and of drudgery, and by eliminating those jobs, but in a way that is socially inclusive and fair, freeing all of us up for more time with our families, more time for study, more time for culture, more time for sports, more time for leisure, more time for vacations. In other words, more time for enjoying our lives and letting the machines do the hard work.